Here's something that still feels a little bit like magic. You can run one of the most capable AI models on Earth right on your own laptop. No internet connection, no account, no monthly bill. Completely free, completely private. And the model we're going to use, it's from China. Baidu's ERNIE. In this video, I'll show you, step by step, how to get it running in about 3 commands. Then we'll do something fun. Put it in a ring against China's other 2 heavyweights, Qwen and DeepSeek, and give all 3 the exact same tests in Korean. The results genuinely surprised me. Let's go. Chapter 1. First, the obvious question: why would you run an AI model on your own computer at all when ChatGPT is right there in your browser? 3 reasons, and they're big ones. First, privacy. When you type into a cloud AI, your words travel to someone else's server. A local model never leaves your machine. Your data stays with you. Second, it's free. No per message fee, no subscription, no meter running in the background. Third, it works offline. On a plane, in a cafe with bad Wi-Fi, anywhere. If it's on your laptop, it just works. The trade-off used to be quality. Local models were toys. That's the part that changed. The open models coming out of China are now genuinely good, and that's what makes this worth your time. Chapter 2. And here's the plot twist that trips a lot of people up. The ERNIE twist. You may have heard that Baidu's ERNIE is a closed model, that you can only use it through Baidu's cloud. And for their newest flagship, ERNIE 5, that's true. But here's what most people miss. Baidu also open-sourced an entire earlier family, ERNIE 4.5, under the permissive Apache 2.0 license. That means the weights are free to download, and you can run them on your own hardware. No permission needed. So while everyone argues about whether Chinese AI is open or closed, the answer is it's both, depending on which model you pick. Today we run the open one. Chapter 3. Now the part everyone worries about, the setup. I promise it's genuinely 3 commands. We use a free tool called Ollama, which handles everything, downloading models and running them with one simple command. Install it, then pull the model. This downloads ERNIE 4.5 to your machine, a one-time thing, then run it. That's the whole setup. No Python, no configuration files, no GPU wrangling. If you can copy and paste 3 lines into a terminal, you can run a frontier Chinese AI model at home. On my Mac, it took a few minutes to download, and then it was just ready. And here's ERNIE 4.5 answering its first question. I asked it in Korean to introduce Seoul to a traveler in 3 sentences. Look at that response. Clean, natural Korean, real detail about palaces and old neighborhoods. But here's the number that jumped out at me. 82 tokens per second. That's how fast it writes. Remember that number? It becomes important in a minute, because this model has a clever trick that makes it much faster than its size suggests. Chapter 4, so it runs and it's good. But how good, really? Let's put it in the ring. ERNIE versus Qwen versus DeepSeek. Same laptop, same 3 questions. In Korean, may the best model win. Here are our 3 contenders, all running locally. ERNIE 4.5, a 21 billion parameter model, but a special kind. More on that shortly. Qwen 3, Alibaba's 8 billion model, and DeepSeek R1, the famous reasoning model, also at 8 billion. All 3 are open, all 3 downloaded to the same machine. 3 rounds, general knowledge, coding, and a logic puzzle. Let's see what happens. Round 1, a simple Korean knowledge question. All 3 know the capital is Seoul, and all 3 write a decent introduction, but there's already a subtle difference. ERNIE and Qwen produce clean, fluent Korean. DeepSeek's answer is good too, but if you look closely, a few Chinese characters have quietly slipped into its Korean, just a hint of its origins leaking through. Small thing here, but keep watching. Round 2, coding. I asked each to write a function that finds prime numbers. Qwen gives a tight one-liner, correct and compact. ERNIE writes a proper sieve of Eratosthenes, the textbook efficient version, clean and complete. DeepSeek also nails the algorithm. But notice something. It answered in English, even though I asked in Korean. For a Korean developer, that matters. 3 correct answers, 3 different personalities. Round 3, Yeja, a logic puzzle. 3 apples and 2 pears cost 7,001. 1 apple and 4 pears cost 6,000. Find each price, and all 3 set up the equations correctly and grind toward the answer. An apple is 1,601, a pear is 1,100. But this is where the language cracks show most. Both ERNIE and DeepSeek start slipping into Chinese mid-reasoning. Whole phrases of it. Qwen alone stays in clean Korean the entire way through. For a Korean user, that consistency is a real, practical advantage. So here's the honest scorecard from these tests. On raw speed, ERNIE wins, and it's not close. 82 tokens per second versus around 47 for the other 2. Why? ERNIE 4.5 is a mixture of experts model. It's 21 billion parameters total, but only activates about 3 billion for any given word. Big brain. Light footprint. On clean Korean, Qwen wins. 0 language leakage across all 3 rounds. And DeepSeek is the deep thinker. Strongest at reasoning, but the most verbose and the loosest with language. No single winner. Different tools for different jobs. Chapter 5. So practically, if you're just getting started, what should you actually run? Keep it simple. If you want the fastest, snappiest experience on your laptop, start with ERNIE 4.5. That mixture of expert speed is addictive. If you mostly work in Korean and want the cleanest, most reliable output, Qwen 3 is your pick. And if you throw hard logic and math problems at it, DeepSeek's reasoning is worth the extra verbosity. The best part? They're all free, all open, and all run on the machine you already own. You can download all 3 tonight and decide for yourself, which is exactly what I'd recommend. So that's the whole story in 3 lines. 1. You can run world-class AI locally, private, free, offline, and it's easier than you think. 2. ERNIE has 2 faces, and the 4.5 family is fully open for you to download. And 3. In our Korean tests, ERNIE was fastest, Qwen was cleanest, and DeepSeek thought the hardest. Try them yourself. The barrier to entry is basically gone. If this was useful, subscribe, and I'll keep showing you how to actually use this stuff. Thanks for watching.